What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know whenever a new episode is uploaded. Forgive me if my voice sounds a little nasally. I have been under the weather for a little over a week, and I have been needing a little bit of speech therapy. So I'm just getting back into creating some content, which it's been a little minute since I've done that. So I'm happy to be feeling better and happy to be back. But right now, we're going to be having a conversation, and this is going to be about someone who is not feeling too good right now, and it's very unfortunate, but it's Pastor John Gray. Now, if you're not familiar with Pastor John Gray, he is a pastor that has a church called Relentless Church. He has a location in Greenville, South Carolina, as well as, I believe, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not sure if both locations are operating, but he used to be an associate pastor at Lakewood Church, which is pastored by Pastor Joel Osteen. It's the huge mega church in Houston, Texas, and Pastor John Gray, I'm not sure when he began working or operating under Pastor Joel Osteen, but he was seen as someone that had a lot of influence, made people laugh, as well as inspired people. And from there, it relayed into him actually having his own reality show with his family, his wife and children, on the Oprah Winfrey Network, which is now just mainly called the OWN Network. But his wife, Venture Gray, she posted on there or on her Instagram that she was needing prayers and that their family was in need of a miracle, and that he had been hospitalized with a severe pulmonary embolism. So her Instagram post reads, "Hello family, I and my family stand in need of a miracle. Please keep my husband at Real John Gray in your prayers. After feeling a little different over the past couple of weeks, he went to the ER on Thursday evening and was immediately admitted to CCU with a saddle pulmonary embolism in the pulmonary artery and more lung blood clots. The saddle PE is in a position that could potentially end his life if it shifts at all. The clot burden is severe and only God is holding it in place. He is currently in CCU, and based on CT and echo, we will need 2 types of surgery due to the pressure now on the heart within the next 24 hours. My God. To place this in perspective, the doctor said that people have come into the hospital dead with this exact scenario he walked in with. The doctor said God has to keep him through the night, and he cannot move, not even get up to walk to a bathroom. Okay, cool. Thanks, ma'am. God isn't done. I don't care what CT, echo, all or any of the tests show. It's clear God isn't finished. Clots have to bow to my God. That's all. I need as many people who believe in the miracle healing power of Jesus Christ to join me and my family in our church as we cry out on behalf of John W. Gray III. I'm rocking with God relentlessly. Thank you to our at Relentless Greenville, at Relentless Atlanta, and our at Lakewood Church. For those that showed up physically, literally already, and reached out in multiple ways after just the word of mouth. We love you all." And at the time of reading this, the post had close to 59,000 likes, and it's pictures of her holding her husband's hand with his hospital band on, and also pictures of the hospital room, a picture of the screen of the monitor with his name. And I don't know, that to me, I don't know, people do the most these days when it comes to social media. So it's not like that really surprises me. Stuff like that surprises me anymore. Whether it's appropriate, it's not for me to say, but it is a little bit you can ask for prayers without having to show all of that. I just think it's just a little bit much. Fine if you want to have those pictures for your phone, but to show it on social media, I don't know. It's not necessary for people to share their thoughts and prayers and wish him the best. I'm not here to judge him, but what I am going to say, and this, of course, is not going to be a popular thought or a popular opinion. I don't know how, oh my God, I don't even really know how to say it. But it wasn't about a month ago that he was exposed for cheating on his wife again. And this came out via Unwind with Tasha K on her YouTube channel and even on her app, and how he was caught on tape. And what I'll probably do is put a link to that story, a link to that video where Tasha K was talking about the proof that she received that she's not going to release because it is considered PORN. And I even if she released that, I wouldn't want to see that either. But what I'm going to say is that, he was exposed about a month ago, little over a month ago, for cheating with the massage therapist. I don't know if this is someone that he had received actual massage services from, or if she just happened to be a massage therapist that he met online or something like that, and wanted to pleasure himself and give her money for allowing herself to be exposed to that, watching him do that to himself. It's just, I can't get just the visual, even though I didn't see it and I have no desire to see that. Seeing this story today, which is unfortunate, about him being sick in the hospital bed and pretty much a life or death situation, and him being a pastor and being exposed for doing that type of stuff. And that just wasn't a one-time thing. He had been exposed several times in the past for being unfaithful to his wife, complaining about his wife, saying negative things about his wife, saying how she doesn't cook and this and that and the other and yada yada. And now him being in a situation where it's a life or death situation and she's asking for people's prayers. I don't have a problem with her doing that. I really don't, because it at the end of it all, it still is her husband and she's chosen to stay with him. So if you choose to stay with someone that is unfaithful to you, then you're choosing to move forward from what has been happening, right? I guess. But it makes one stand to wonder. I'm not saying that God did this to him, because I don't believe that, because there's just too many evil people in this world that sometimes you just wonder, why is this person still alive and breathing? This person is so evil. And I'm not just talking about people that we all know, and you can think of some names. I'm quite sure I can think of several, but just people that you may know in your own life or in your own experiences, people that have done some pretty deceitful, devious, horrible things, and you wonder, why is this person still alive? Why are they still breathing? Like, if God is God, why has this person not been taken out? So I personally don't believe that God does things like this to people, because if he did, then a whole lot of us would not be here anymore. That's just my thought on that. But I will say that we live in a horrible world, and because we live in a horrible world, bad things happen to good people, but bad things also happen to some bad people as well, and God will allow it because he's just kind of like holding back. I'm not going to step in. I'm not going to bother or deal with that, but I do believe in the power of prayer as well. So I do believe that prayer can change things. I really do. But it makes one stand to wonder, could he possibly be in this situation? Because like I said, I don't believe that God did this to him, but I do believe that we can do things that can cause things to come upon ourselves. So it makes me wonder, is he in this position right now? Not saying that anything worse is going to happen to him, but this is already pretty bad. Could it be some of the actions that he has taken, not just being unfaithful to his wife, but even like his lifestyle, he isn't the slimmest person in the world. He's not the most obese person in the world either, but he doesn't look healthy. And I don't know, like, he's like T.D. Jakes Jr. in a way to me, not just because he is a pastor of a mega church with a bald head and African American, but I don't know. It's just something about these men, especially you see a lot of men like this where they are in these positions where they're living really, really well and they don't look healthy. Huge guts, huge stomachs. I'm quite sure that has something to do with the heart issues and the embolisms. It doesn't stand to say that if you are not a smaller person that this can't happen to you either, because it can. I get that. But the lifestyle should just be different. And if you are someone that's saying that you are a leader in a church and you're trying to lead people to Christ and all that stuff, it shouldn't just be about trying to get people to be at a place where they feel comfortable dying so they can go to heaven for the rest of eternity, but it's about living well while you're here on earth as well. And he has not shown himself to be happy because he has been continuously exposed on several occasions for being unfaithful to his wife and just embarrassing her, putting her out here like that. I don't know if no one can say what they would do if they're not in that position. I get it. But I'm just saying, I don't know if it was really necessary, especially with what just happened recently with him being exposed. And Tasha K said that she spoke to Aventer, his wife, and she just was pretty much like, yeah, yeah, that's what's going on. Like, she didn't even really care. So I don't even know if they're really living together like that. They may just still be married for the sake of appearances. It's cheaper to stay in this situation versus us to split it up and tear it apart. But she didn't have to put it out there for the world to ask for the prayers for him. Like, get in your prayer circle, get with your close family and friends and connect with them and pray for this man, and then maybe share it later. Hopefully, he gets out of the woods, because I don't wish anything worse to happen to him. I don't even wish that this had happened to him. I didn't wish anything for him, honestly. It's just like, when I heard about it, I was like, okay, here we go again. I didn't immediately create any content to talk about it, because to me, it was just like, here we go once again. There was a story that came out, I believe it was last year in 2021, and I believe I did a conversation talking about that, where he was threatening to sue this person, this young lady that came out, and saying that she was trying to say that he was extorting her, and that I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that story at all, and that came and went. He never sued her, because it wasn't really extortion. She was just sharing what actually happened, and he was giving this person money. And this most recent story that came out, she said that he was doing that too. He kept saying, what's your Cash App? What's your Cash App? Because he just kept wanting to send her money. And now, all of these people who choose to stay in his church and be under his leadership, I don't understand that. I don't. But people choose to do what they choose to do. And it's just a horrible look. I don't wish any harm on him. I really do hope indeed he does come through this situation, and that he can really not just be relentless, like his church title says, but repent and turn from the ways in which he has been living to be a better man. And if being the better man means I can't be married to this woman because this is not healthy for me, I'm continuously putting her in a position to look foolish, I'm committing adultery, and I'm supposed to be the leader of these people, the leader of my flock, my sheep. I am supposed to be the shepherd. It's just a horrible look. And And it's just embarrassing to do all of these things where you're living pretty much reckless, and then immediately something horrible happens to you and the first person you go to is God. And it's human nature. Even the people who don't believe in God, when something just shocking immediately happens, by nature, they usually will say, oh my God. They won't say, I don't know. But anyway, it's just a horrible situation right now. I don't wish any harm any more than what has happened to them. I didn't wish this at all, but it just looks really bad. And now, who's the person that's out here going to bat for him? His wife, the same one that he complained about to these other women that he's been unfaithful to. And then if you Google him, and the images that come up, it's just really sad because, it shows an image of him crying with his hand up on his eye. And I'm not laughing, guys. I'm still in a mode of recovery, even though I am feeling 100% better. My voice is just not back to where it really was. And but yeah, image of him crying, and then his wife, Aventer, sitting there looking at him with this look like she's disgusted with him, but she also may want to cry and shed some tears too. She's been forever just been made to look foolish by this man, but she's the one that's out here because he can't speak for himself. He can't move, on his own. And it's just terrible. But I'm going to play this news story with an update on his condition.
Tracy Fant met relentless pastor John Gray 4 years ago.
His family and I, we just hit it off. And a friendship between us developed from there.
Since then, Fant and Gray have gone out into the community to help make Greenville a better place.
I know them in real life. Like, we broke bread together, we spent time together, we've been to the prisons together, we fed the homeless together, we've done events together, fellowship together, and as I stated, we became friends over the years.
Their connection brought Fant even closer to her faith.
I know she fights for people who can't fight for themselves. I know she's always leading with her heart.
For a long time, I didn't attend church. For a long time, I didn't really, have faith in a lot of things, but just watching him and his path and the level of transparency that he's shown throughout the years, admitting his wrongs and trying to right them.
Even from the hospital, Gray sent a message to his parishioners to keep fighting, which Fant says is a testament to who Gray is, as he faces his toughest challenge yet.
This right here is probably most likely the biggest fight of his life.
I want my church to hear me say thank you. You all have blessed me this day. They got me in this room, and they said that I can't move.
And it's going on in front of the world, like everybody is seeing this fight.
The doctor told me, my wife, she said, your vitals look good for the precarious nature of your condition. If this blood clot moves one way or the other, there's nothing we could do, even in this hospital.
And so when he comes through this fight, he can only encourage others to continue to fight their daily battles and their daily struggles as well.
I believe God. I believe him for complete healing.
Either way, Fant, like many, isn't losing hope.
I know he's going to pull through because he's a warrior. He is relentless.
So that news story comes from WYFF News 4 in Greenville, which is where the Relentless Church is located. And look, he, like the woman said, because she's a parishioner at his church, he is a fighter. So he probably will come through this. But the reason I just wanted to just talk about this briefly was that I feel that it's just horrible. Stuff like this happens in life. Stuff like this does. It happens in life. It happens to the good and it happens to the bad. But to just come off the heels of an exposed situation where he was cheating on his wife again, this is the reason why you make a mockery of faith and you make a mockery of God when you're out here living recklessly. And it's not every man, and it's not even every pastor. I know there are a lot of people who can't stand churches. They have a horrible taste in their mouth when it comes to churches and pastors because of people like this who have done negative situations and just done some deplorable things. And then it gives all of the pastors a bad name. There's so many churches and there's so many pastors, and a lot of them don't live like that. A lot of them are not crooked. A lot of them are not creeps. A lot of them are not, being unfaithful to their wives. I meant to say spouses, but I said wives and spouses and put it all in one word. So not wiveses, but a lot of them are not being unfaithful to their spouses because they're also female ministers and pastors too. And a lot of them are, they're not men pastors that are just married with women for the sake of appearances, but they're sleeping with men and all of that other stuff. I know that stuff goes on, but for Pastor John Gray he's just had a lot of scandals, a lot of them, a lot of them. And one sometimes is too many, especially when you are supposedly called by God, have a church where you are responsible for so many souls, and to just be out here living reckless like that, it just makes me wonder, are you really called by God, or are you just doing this for the fame and the money? And the Bible even says it, many are called but few are chosen. So it is possible he may have been called, but were you really chosen by God, or were you chosen by and anointed by Pastor T.D. Jakes, and now you feel and Pastor Joel Osteen, and because they have mega churches now, you feel that you are supposed to be doing the same thing? It doesn't always mean that. I believe that even though he may be a good person for, overall, and has made some mistakes, because I get it, no one is perfect. Maybe this may be a sign that you should not be leading all of these people, and you should be maybe closing it down or giving the church to someone else, and you being someone that is serving and being taught and getting in a place where you can be better for other people and for your family, versus leading all of these people because it may be too much for you. And it's possible that could have contributed to the health issues as well. All of the stress of leading all of these people, all of the stress of having to pay all of the bills that the church has, all of the financial obligations that your family has, the lifestyle that you're expected to live and lead because you are the pastor of a mega church, and you had one and now you have two, and it's a lot. Speaking as a business owner myself, and one that actually has multiple business locations as well, it is a lot of stress and it is a lot of pressure. But I'm not leading people to Christ. I'm just trying to perfect people's beauty, that they want and that they pay for, and I'm grateful for it all. But even that is a lot of stress. I couldn't imagine being a leader of a church and leading people to live a certain life, and I ain't even living it. That's just a lot of pressure. And so it's not surprising that he has these health issues and that he's overweight and all of these other things. And now it's caused or contributed to this pulmonary embolism, which they were saying that if he even moved a certain way, he could lose his life. That is absolutely scary. So I really would love to know what you guys think about this. Again, I'm not judging, but I'm just trying to bring a different perspective to this, to say maybe this could be a wake-up call to say that you are taking on more than you really should have, and maybe this is a time to think about stepping aside and stepping back and allowing someone else to lead and to take over, because I couldn't see myself continuing to go to the church of someone who has just been continuously in scandal after scandal after scandal where it involves my wife, when your first call as a man who chose to get married is to be the priest of your home and to love your wife as Christ loved the church, which is what the Bible says. And if you're not even doing that, how could you lead all of these people? I'm just saying, again, I don't wish any more harm on him than what has already transpired. I do that hope and pray he can get it together and get real, be real with God, be real with others, and stop living a life differently behind closed doors than what you live in the public, because then sometimes you are subjected to public shame. And getting sick is not shameful. It's not shameful. Stuff happens like that, unfortunately. But the shame comes in when you are now, like myself and many others, and I've seen the comment section in a number of different blogs and videos where this story has come up, where people are calling out his unfaithfulness. So guys, I'm going to end it there, but I would love to know what your thoughts are and on this story. So guys, this is Beth. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.